Good very early morning everybody, or night or afternoon depending on where you're tuning in from, and welcome to yet another Twister Professional stream. This time I'm streaming day 2 for the NA server. Again, this is not a great stream this time, but if you want to earn free stuff, be sure to have the other stream that is happening through the portal playing somewhere so that you can get some free stuff as well. And for all the streams on all the servers, have that playing always and just watch the stream that you actually want to watch to make sure they get both free stuff and the coverage that you want. And it's also a good way to support all the YouTubers around, so definitely do that. For today we are following Primal, and we'll have a look at what the lineup is for today, what the current stand is for today as well. So I'll take away the preview so that you can actually see this is what the current stand is on the NA server. Rain with 2 points straight, Purple also Rain, Pincer, MM and Speed, well Primo, all having 1 point and Von having no points. So anything can still happen, anything can still develop here, and every day we get a little bit closer. And basically this whole round robin stage is only for 4 days, so it is very short. And that means that the pressure will start to build pretty soon, even though right now there's not much of a problem. But yeah, it is definitely an interesting day, because we have best of 7s. We will be streaming Primal vs Straight and Primal vs MM today. I'm just gonna call them Magellan, I think, because that is easier to say than MM all the time. So that is what we're gonna be watching tonight on my stream. Like I said, Primal vs Straight and Primal vs Magellan. And we are going to do that on Castilla, Port Bay, Canal and Vineyards, and Naval Frontier, Dinsey-Sprul, Alpenstadt and Faust, depending on how far we go. So I'm excited. We will have a room invite in about 3 minutes by the looks of it. So for now we just are going to sit in my garage and we'll just wait for the whole YouTube thing to have been started, so that I can fire it up. Again, this is something I'm sort of repeating every stream. I apologize beforehand for any brain derps that I might have, but with all this streaming, basically my days have been existing of eating, sleeping and streaming, so I'm a little bit tired. So I hope you can forgive me for that. All the same, I do love being able to do this, and I feel that the NA server definitely deserves to get some extra coverage as well, so here I am. And basically that's it for NA. Anything can happen yet. EU is slowly coming together, and there's only a few clans that are sort of safe. But it's still sort of, because there as well anything can happen, so it's interesting to follow. For the Asia server there's only one clan that is actually really safe, and that is Feast, because they have 4 points in 4 matches, so they won over half of their matches, which means that they are certain to go through to the finals. The question is, will they win the finals? Will they go to the offline, and what happens then? Because that is what it is all about. People get prizes for everything. You get money prizes for top 4 and higher. But the thing is that in the end it is all about the Twister Cup and the massive prizes that you can get there. So yeah, we're just going to have to wait and find out how all of that will go for all 3 servers. NA does not get the coverage that it deserves really. Asia not either. But Asia does have a stream every day, and NA does have a stream every day. But like in comparison to EU has every match streamed every day for the professionals tournament, and that is saying something. So we are now live on YouTube, just waiting for the YouTube thing itself to catch up so that I can pause the stream and just focus on the game instead. Like I said, this is not a great stream. If you want to get stuff for watching, you need to watch through the portal and make sure you are logged in. I'm actually going to leave a quick message there to make sure that people know that too. If you want to get stuff, watch through and make sure you're logged in. This is not a great stream today. I will have a great stream on Wednesday for NA, and because there's only one round then, it would be way too short to make it actually work. So instead we are going to extend that a little bit, and Brian, Rolling Swarm and I will actually be tuning a little bit afterwards to basically fill up your meters. And there is the tournament room. Let's go to the room. And like I said, we are starting on Castilla. Castilla, not really one of my favorite maps. I feel that it's a map that always leads to stalemate games that are wrapped up in a weird way. Either you have a push, and that can be quite beautiful, or it just becomes chaos, and yeah. But most of the time we see a lot of stalemate happening here. And this is what it looks like. You have 3 bases. Base A, which is considered the map base. Base C, considered the heavy base. Base B in the middle, very difficult to cap because of all the camper lines of fire and all the city lines of fire that go into it. A lot of people take the Citadel, and that's where you mostly get the stalemate stuff, because people will know where all the campers are, where all the campers can shoot them from. So they will hold back, and they will just sit at the back and want to get those shots in. But it also means that those that are going to peek are going to do so very carefully, because you know where you can get shot from. So that is one of the reasons that there are so many stalemate games on this map, because of all the positions where you can have campers on this. So that is basically the map that we are starting on in this best of 7. It can go every which way. Like I said, because it's a best of 7, I actually prefer this to a best of 5, because it's less dependent on luck, and I feel that that is a more fair way of doing it. So I'll take away the map now so that it can't get in your way. And both teams are completely present, and we see that Tanner has taken the spaghetti. I actually really love that tank. I'm glad to... It's actually been performing quite nicely. We saw Raid use it earlier today on EU, and it performed beautifully, especially when you have 2 of them, because together they can make short work of pretty much any tank. But on its own, I think it is a bit of a liability. It's the same thing with the AMXs that we sometimes see, the 50Bs. It kind of makes it difficult, because it's only the 1 clip that it has, and it will reload in time. But if you have 2 of them, they're very deadly. Straight, also steadily running up. We see 3 Death Stars on Primal's side. I'm very curious if they're going to stick with that, or if they're going to change their lineup at the last minute. Because, yeah, Death Stars. But it would be quite funny to see if they work this. But there we go. One of them has been changed. And there goes the other one. I have a feeling Tantan is not going to drive his IS-5 either. Well, we will see. They still have some time left before they need to decide for sure what tank they are driving. But yeah, the spaghetti can definitely hold its own, especially when there's 2 of them. And Straight has now completely readied up with 2 Foshes, 2 IS-4s, 2 E50Ms and a 215B, listed very nicely in a sort of reverse order. We call it a palindrome in Dutch. I'm not sure if it's the same word in English, but yeah. Basically, if you have a word that you can spell backwards and it's spelled exactly the same, then it's called a palindrome, and it's kind of like the lineup reminds me of that. So that is the useless fact that you get from me today. I probably have more of them later on. And we see that Death Stars have been completely switched out, but we see Tanner now in an STB. We see 1 IS-4, 2 Batchets, a Chinese TD, an E5 and a Foch. I'm just gonna call that a FT, I think. Or Enzyme, because that's the one driving it. But we have now just under a minute left to go before we go in to enter the battle, the first battle of this best of 7. There will be 2 tours tonight. So like I said, we have Primal versus Straight, followed by Primal versus Magellan. And after that, more than half the professionals matches have been played. And that is excluding the finals, of course. The final stage is something else altogether. But for this round robin, it's all about taking home the points and making sure that you reach that top 4. So now we just have to be a little bit patient. Team members have been unreadying and readying up again. They still have 17 seconds now, but I think now it's all set and they are ready to go, as are we. So let's have a look and see what they do in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Lots of different avatars. That's something I've overall noticed, that people this time around, where in the spring tournament people would tend to use about the same avatar, and right now it's just all over the place. I don't mind it, I just find it funny. And here we go. Let's go up, up and away and see what they do. Both Primal and Straight are focusing primarily on the A side of things, with the Batchat heading up and over to possibly spot an IS-4 there. He is capping quite aggressively, and ooh, 10-10 going into the line of the Foshes. I'm not sure if he's gonna survive this one. Ooh, but he has some nice cover fire. And he's just hiding behind the building now. Big hits happening. This is a very Korra losing HP. But look at the amount of HP that the Forces have lost now. That is a very cheeky thing to do. Crossfire happening in Premo into the Forces and a little bit into Krypton. That is, oh my god, I love that. Nice move, and Tantan is just casually going away. We have the IS-4 now pushing the E50Ms because now their TDs are occupied. And that means that they can just destroy Iconic like this. And Eli is next in line with Tanner in front of him, and now they have to be careful because they are getting shot from behind. But overall, Eli is now making it harder for his team to cover for him. DMG just got deleted as well. Toadmark is almost gone. There goes Eli, there goes Toadmark. And now there's only 3 members left. So Ghost is just going on in. Going to shoot Krypton some. Show him some kryptonite. And this is one of the fastest matches I've had. We are just 2 minutes in. Force is now reloaded. He's almost gone. And even though people are getting some damage in... Ooh, it is not a 7-0. It's close, but it's not a 7-0. And the only one that we have left now is Abel. And Abel Garcia is not going to survive this for long. Getting hit and slaughtered from 2 sides. Very cheeky gameplay by Premo. We are 2.5 minutes in. And it is the end of the first match already. Oh my god. Absolutely love that. Very cheeky game. This is kind of like, these are the interesting games. You don't expect that on Castilla. At least I know I don't. But that is just... We've seen this happen before in other maps on the EU server. There was at some point a Batchat that went to Dynasty Pro and capped, and it caused the reaction in R2K, and R2K went and they basically got brutally murdered for it. Because that was exactly what the enemy wanted them to do. And the Batchat was just sacrificial lamb basically, but it helped them so much. That is awesome. So we have Pramo now ready in an STB, a 215B, 2 E50Ms, the FT, an E5 and a Foch, and they're going to go up against an E5, a 268, 240s, 2 mice, and an IS-4. 2 mice on this map is an interesting tactic. I wonder where they're going to go with that. They can't really go anywhere but either B or C, but it will take them a while to get there, and that is a risk, especially on a map like this, because there's no easy way to get to B, unless you go over the hill and then up the hill, and that just takes a lot of time. So that's why I'm always, wondering where people go with these super heavies on maps like this. I mean, on Dynasty Pro, it makes more than sense. On Middelburg and Himmelsdorf and all of that, it makes a lot of sense. On this map, it may work, it may not. But you have, of course, also base C that could potentially start off there, see if they can cap it and then move on to base B, because they are powerhouse tanks. They are meant to absorb a lot of damage, as in not getting actually damaged, but bouncing a lot of shots. So here we go. In 3 seconds we are going to the second match on Castilla and the second match in this best of 7. And here we go. An orange and a blue one. E5 a rebel. I like the legendary camos. Especially mainly for the names, actually. There are a few that I don't like in looks. But I always feel that it would work so much better if teams just stuck to a color. But at the same time, you can confuse your enemies, making it a little bit harder to decide who to shoot and all of that. So we have a straight now focusing a lot more on the base C side, with the mice actually going up to the middle. Like I said, it will take them some time to get there. And Primal is just having Ghost Ranger overlooking base C. But he can guess where people will be, because they will be in that bush. Base A is being capped. I wonder if he's going to try and decap base C. I'm not sure if he will. Ooh, they actually do, and he has been spotted for his troubles. But Cora in the Forge has not been. And we see some more damage happening in the E5. That is a lot of damage to take. And no base to have it in, and even base B is being decapped. Reich taking some damage, the mice now arriving. Base B will definitely be theirs. But look at just DMG just sort of disappearing, and he's not even spotted at this stage. He's just being hit a lot. And we have the 140 that is being hit as well. Primal nicely spread out. Reich the only one that is really in trouble. And they are basically just generally shooting away the mice. And Krypton is almost gone. This is not where you want to be. They did cap the base, but oh my god, look at the HP that they lost. The tank that they lost for getting B. And not just that, but also just trying to get C. That is like, we made a move and we did not expect it to turn out like this. So now we are in a bit of a stalemate situation, but Primal has a definite point advantage. We see Ghost is going across the river here, probably to get some crossfire shots in. Spot the people that are on the hill over there, I think. At least I would expect that that is the main reason that he's here. And he will probably get spotted for his troubles. Ooh, but he takes out DMG. And we see that the spotting has definitely worked, because now the 268 has been spotted as well. The mouse is pulling back, losing a lot of HP in the meantime. Abel is losing HP. Ghost is basically losing HP as well, but they've now already taken 3 guns from straight. And they're in straight up trouble. We have Ghost arriving, going after the mouse. And there he goes. Nice double tap. Then we have Iconic arriving. We have Toadmark trying to get away. And he might take out Reich to avoid it becoming a 7-0. But I'm not even sure he's going to be able to do that. He does not. And now only Toadmark is left. Ooh, that is a close one. But it's actually Ghost Ranger that takes him out. And it's a 7-0. Oof. Again, pretty aggressive gameplay by Primal, but it works. These are beautiful games. From Primal's perspective, of course, but just, I love it when people push like that and just have an aggressive stance, but they get away with it. So we are now moving on to Port Bay. Port Bay looks like this. You have base A, which is in the harbor, base B in the middle of the square, and base C that is in the hills. Position wise, I much prefer the area around base C, but this is a team game, so they can go anywhere they want with any lineup that they want, because they have each other to build on. So let's take away the map and focus on the lineups. You generally already know the maps, but that's just to refresh your memory basically. And we have Primal completely read up in 2 215Bs, a T22 medium, 2 Forces, an STB and an E5. And they're going to go up against 2 263s, a T62A, an E50M, a Force, a Batchet and an IS4. So the YOLO wagons being brought in, that is a cheeky thing to do. I haven't seen them yet on this map. I do see them on maps like Dynasties Pro, but not yet on Port Bay, and I wonder how they will hold up. It's not called the YOLO wagon for nothing, of course, so it can work quite some wonders. And basically, we just need to wait half a minute before we get to see the third match in this matchup. And it is going quite quickly. We are 10 minutes in and we are almost entering the third battle. So that is about 6 minutes of playing time in total for 2 matches. Now we enter the countdown clock. We are ready to go. And here we go. I wonder if these teams have trained together a lot, if they know these tactics from each other. Because that is sometimes a problem as well, because you want to train against the strongest clans, but at the same time, you don't, because then you are giving away things to them that you might want to keep a secret. But most of the time that clans train together, they don't really use the tactic as exactly as they envisioned it, but they will test the weaknesses of the general idea of it. So we have Primal primarily focusing on base C, and we see that Straight is doing the same thing, so we might go for an early brawl. I'm going to take you to the corner to see if I can show you most of it. We have Eli going straight on in with the Batchat. We have the YOLO wagons splitting up. Batchat going up. Force going straight on in, wanting to get that Batchat. And the Batchat is slowly being eaten. But Straight is having a nice aggressive push. Ooh, Tantan taking massive damage there. Eli is losing a ton of HP though. And he is running away. And he's running back towards his team. Then we have Cora now shooting the YOLO wagon. Getting hit by another YOLO wagon in turn. We see people more or less vanishing. A very vital shot missing Cora, now in trouble, steadily being deleted. We have DMG on fire, unable to fix himself. And Tantan is almost reloaded. And oof, they need to take out DMG if they want this to work. He is a very low HP target. But it is a YOLO wagon for a reason. You can YOLO with it because it is such troll armor. He does take him out though. But Snowfox is almost out himself. We have the 2 mats in the corner, but Straight has now lost 4 tanks. The Batchat's still alive somehow. He's running away and the remaining 2 are in the corner. There goes Iconic. And we have Abel that is left. That can't really do much against 6 vehicles on his own. With very little HP. And getting rushed. But it's actually FV from the other side that is going after. And now we have Eli and Tantan facing off against each other. Trolling the shot. And it could potentially be enough to kill Tantan, and he does. But he has very little HP left. There's no way he's surviving this. And there he goes. Reich finishing it off in the E5. Again, a very, very, very quick game. Less than 2.5 minutes. But damage-wise, it was quite close together. I think the YOLO push could have worked better. But the Batchat lost too much health and could not stay in the position that they envisioned for it, which allowed Primal to push up a lot more quickly. So with 1.5 minutes left to go, we are going into the 4th match of this best of 7. That means that if Primal wins the next one, they have the points. And we see that Primal has readied up in two 215Bs, two T22 mediums, an IS4, an E5 and an E3 versus an E5, a mouse, a 113, a grill, two IS4s and a YOLO wagon. I like seeing the E5. I still don't know if it's actually as competitive as it could be, or at least if it's as competitive as some other tanks. I do love it. I do think it's amazing heavy, but at the same time it does get damaged quite easily. So it will be fun to see what they do with this match, because the pressure is definitely on Straight to perform now. They have to win the next 4 matches if they were to get the point. Thing is, it can happen. We saw it earlier today on Asia, where E7 was behind 0-3 and they won 4-3. So that's, yeah, it can happen. But it will not be easy, especially against Primal, which has consistently been in the top 4 and even going to grand finals and even going to offlines. Especially now that it's sort of merged with the team of Void. And Void, of course, took home the top echelon in the spring. This is a very strong team. A very strong mixed team, but a very strong team. And here we go. Let's see what happens next. This is promising. So we go up and away, and we see that now Straight is heading more towards the city, or towards the middle at least, with DMG going to overlook base C by the looks of it, covered by Toadmark in the YOLO wagon. And we have Primal focusing entirely on the base A side. I actually got stuck against the lighthouse there. Straight pretty spread out. And Primal holding, waiting for something to happen. They are literally just waiting outside of the wall, not wanting to give away their positions yet. And we have Eli in his IS4 in a precarious position, waiting for them to arrive at base A. But they're not there, and they're not moving. They're holding behind the walls, they're not making a move, they're not letting themselves be known. They are just waiting. Blind shot happening into base A, but nothing is happening. We have a trigger happy Snow Fox moving around. Hi Rijk. And they won't see anything falling. Now they might, because Tantan drove over a wall. Primal is now moving in, using their speed boost. But still, Rijk is the only one that has been spotted. And he pulls back as he does. All of Primal is pulling back. Not sure what this is. Where are they going? What are they doing? I think they were hoping to get a reaction from Straight. And they kind of are getting it. And now they are making their way over towards C. This is quite certainly the most weird tactic I've ever seen. And I wonder if they're gonna get spotted. This is so weird. The rest of Primal arriving near base C. Blind shot going into where the grill is actually at. And you see him moving even though he has not been hit. But they will know that he is there. And I wonder if he's going to take another blind shot. He does, but it misses. DMG now steadily getting hit. Base C being... Oof, the YOLO wagon has been spotted. We see lines of fire happening every which way, but Primo did take the base. And with the two T22s waiting to get shots in. They are steadily getting eaten up though. And we have Primo that is holding more than anything. They did take off quite some HP, but they could just play it more defensively than they are. The mouse holding Tanner and the mouse facing off. We have the grill at the back. Oof, hits happening in the mouse. Overall, I want to show you everything, but I can't really. I'm stuck with the border of the map. And now we have DMG overextending. And the 113 is almost gone. Reich took a big hit there. So did... Oof. Basically, tanks are starting to disappear. We will now have a vanishing mouse. We have Toadmark that is moving in, wanting to get a shot into Ghost, but not getting it. Ghost Ranger ramming DMG and then killing him off. There goes Toadmark. There goes Ghost. And we have entered the brawl stage in one of the weirdest games I've ever seen. Only 3 tanks left now. The grill is moving, has been spotted, but is still full health at this stage. But we are focusing on this because it doesn't look like they will... Oof, the grill has just been set on fire, losing a ton of HP. There goes Reich. There goes Eli, and the last one left is an E3 facing off against a grill, and he takes him out just like that. He teach us the ways. Do you know the way? That was one of the weirdest memes. It kind of fits this tactic though. Weird memes for a very weird tactic. I love that they were waiting, but then nothing was happening and just, let's go in. Oh no, let's not. Let's go the other way. It's weird. But yeah, the point is for Primal after 21 minutes, including 6 minutes waiting time. That's about 15 minutes for 4 games. Those are very quick games. So let's have a look, see what happens. If we know yet the chart. We are still looking at 8 points here, so we don't know anything yet. It hasn't been updated. So I'm going to show you some replays and we'll get back to that later. I got some nice replays after my very long stream yesterday for the NA server. If you have some replays that you want me to show off, by all means post them on my server. I have a special channel called Twisted Season Replays. The only thing that you have to keep in mind that it has to be an ace and it has to be a tier 7 or above. So keep that in mind when you post them. But if you get them, I will be happy to show them off. I can't really speak at this time of night. It doesn't really work for me. So let's see, what can I show you? I got this one. And I saw the screenshot of the results and I really want to see it. So we're going to start with that. I can't pronounce his name, but he's from Immor. Immor is one of the Dutch clans. It is a very lovely clan with a lot of lovely people. And they are also quite competitive. They are currently going for the Challengers tournament. And they're definitely one to watch, in my opinion. So we are starting on Faust, one of my favorite maps. But it is not Supremacy, so not my favorite game mode. We have a weird looking waffle. Not sure what he's doing. Possibly looking at the rocket that was just fired. In the meantime, we see General Kenobi talking about marrying me and taking me out to dinner and flowers and everything. If you feel like you should marry me, disclose knowing mainly that I am a female and that I play this game and that I stream. It is really not a healthy thing to do. Nice little big hit into the pattern there. I would actually be worried if someone I know has a giant ladybug suit. That is actually a little bit freaky. 140 not extending enough. The pattern not extending enough anymore either. The E6 ones help though, not sure why. And there we go. Big hit into the 140. And now he has been spotted, so he has to be a little bit careful. We know that the pattern is there. We know that the pattern wants some. Ooh, if he had been a little more patient there. Juicy Batchat. Oof, very juicy shot. Well done. We have the 140 over there. Batchat has been taken care of. He just needs to make sure it pans. There we go, juicy shot. There goes the 140, nice little bit of assisted damage. And they're leaving the pattern, who dies almost instantly. So at this stage, seeing what is left HP wise. Oh, but these are the shots that you want. And you don't use HE for that. It's a waffle. He's probably hitting himself in the head for that one. T95 E6, not a happy bunny. That is more like it. We have an E75 arriving. Nice little bounce and wiggle there. Nice cheeky shot. We are nearly 5k damage in. And that is the end of the T62A. Nice bounce. And he shoots again. 5.6k damage. And now he takes his first shot worth of damage. Not going to be enough to... Ooh, it is actually going to be enough to save the E75 for another round. And he gets another shot in. Now he's completely overextending himself though. And there he goes. 6k damage in, one vehicle left. He takes out the M103. Nice cheeky shot. Waffle almost gone. Waffle is reloading. Waffle's not going to survive this. But oof, the object might have a very juicy shot here. He doesn't take it though, he just stays in front. 7.4k damage into it. He just has to avoid getting flanked, but it's an object, so it's very hard to flank an object. We have one looking to be very AFK teammate left. We are 8k damage in, ladies and gentlemen. And there is no way the IS-4 is going to survive this. He just has to make sure that it pans, and he does. And that is the end of it. 8200 damage, and he made it look so easy. $1,691 base XP. This is seriously, this is one of those games that you're like, how did that even happen? Because he makes it look so easy. Wonderful game. So let's see what else I have for you. I have a cheeky little game that I showed on EU earlier, but I'm going to show it here as well. E4 is a tank that I've actually very much underappreciated. It is not really the tank for me. When I first got it, it was my first turreted tier 10. And I'm not sure if it counts as such, mainly because of the fact that it's just... It is turreted for sure, but it's also not a turret that turns the full weight, so I'm not sure if it counts as fully turreted. Well, not as fully, of course, but you know what I mean. And when I first got it, I absolutely loved it, but I've never really been able to perform properly in it. The tier 9 I do a lot better in than I do in this. I have faced it by now, but it took me literally years. Even though I haven't played it that much because I found my other tier 10s more interesting, but yeah. It's just been a difficult tank to perform in properly. So he's going into base B. And that is definitely a great shot to start the replay with. That is an uncalled for comment. It can be very salty, but definitely nice little bit of damage. So he now goes in to cap a base. The VK is at the back. The grill wants a juicy part. But he might be able to cap the base before the grill is able to try and decap it. And the grill is actually not coming. But we have a VK that is, so our E4 is pulling back. Angling a little bit towards the VK, wanting to get that shot in. But not getting the opportunity to do it. As the VK keeps moving. Probably also trying to do the same thing to him. And we have the grill. Now the VK is moving in. And our E4 wants to shoot him. Nice little juicy shot. Whereas the VK hit the building. Both teams have lost the tank at this point, but nothing really is going on. Cheeky shot that missed the grill somehow. I'm not sure where that shot went. And we have the VK now pushing in for the E4. Getting a very juicy hit from the E4 in turn. Nice little bounce there. And now he just has to avoid. That shot actually missed because it was unaimed and it hit the red parts of the tank. But now the VK misses as well. And they get separated, which makes it easier for the E4 to kill him off. The T-68 just got murdered. It is 3 versus 4. It can go every which way. The E100 just shot our E4 and murdered the gunner. Or the loader. And now we have a very nice little juicy shot. And our E4 turns around to sort of face off against the E100. But he has to be careful with that. Because he will get damage for it. And at this stage, he kind of has the choice to either deal with the E100, even though he has a lot less health than the E100 does. Or deal with the YOLO wagon that is in base P. And it's a very cheeky move to do, because you know that you're showing your back to an E100. But he does do it. And he does get away with it. And now we have a YOLO wagon that is looking at him. And he has a friend in the Leo that is also there. That is a truck shot that you really wanted to be a kill. And with a little bit of fire, the YOLO wagon is now gone. So now only the E100 is left. I'm not sure what the Leo is doing. He's literally running around. And with 2 bases in their court, the red team is actually doing pretty well. And that is a shot that should have done damage. It was supposed to be free damage. So he has to be careful now. Because again, he does not have all that much health. Nice little bounce there. The Leo finally going into base C and being a little bit useful. But it also means that the E100 knows exactly where his teammate is. And now he takes a shot, but he should be able to reload in time to land that last shot into the E100. He loads APCR, which is a good call, because in this case you want to make sure that you actually shoot and hit. Which he does, so we end up with 7,371 damage. That is a very amazing game. 1869 base XP. Don't see that every day for sure. So that is definitely, these are the games that make it just worth streaming, because it's just so awesome. In the meantime, let's have a look, see what else I have for you. People are referring to the fact that I'm now at 5k subs. That is amazing. I'm so happy with that. And yes, it does mean I'm going to be holding a giant giveaway. I will post a video later this week announcing what you need to do in order to enter. So just be patient for that. In the meantime, let's have a look, see if we know a score yet. We have 11 points. I think we're missing 1 point. Let's see what an M is doing. They won. No, they're still up against Rain. That's the one that we were waiting for. Rain versus Magellan. The rest is all clear. What happened point-wise? 3 people got are up to 2 points now. And M potentially as well, but it depends on what happens versus Rain. So we still have about half an hour before we get the next match, so we are going to show some more replays for that. People have asked me before why I don't play, and that is mainly to do with the fact that I can't play PC to save my life. I will be playing on Wednesday to pass the time and get people their crates. But other than that, yeah. So let's have a look-see at this one. I showed it earlier on the EU server. It's in a lovely game as well. All these games are lovely, to be fair, because they're all aces, and they're all epic aces at that. And it always surprises me how much damage people can do in tanks that I feel are underappreciated. This is one of them, because this is one of the strongest tanks. It was more one of the last Twisted Season tanks. It was used to fill up pretty much everything. And at this stage, you do see it, because it does have the DPM, and it does have somewhat mobility, but it's not one of the strongest tanks at the moment, so you don't see it all that much. It's more used as a filler tank than anything else. So he's actually going back towards their spawn. You see that they have 2 AFKs and a lovely camper that is all the way in the back in the PTA. That is not the way you should drive the PTA, mind you. So let's see what he does and if he can get some shots in, because this is a hard one to hit. We have a Leo one in the corner. But that one actually does hit. And he's blocked a little bit more damage than he's actually done at this stage. But that was a quite nice bounce. He's just repositioning himself now, because he's all alone. His team is sort of all the way to the left of him. So that might, if they were to rush him, it could go every which way. At the same time, he doesn't really want to pull back either. You know that there are targets here. You know you have to spot them. And we know that one of these supposedly AFK mediums is actually not AFK. Cheeky shot in the Leo here. And he's sort of holding back. Leo wants him actually going quite forwards here. And making it quite easy to shoot him. He's not even focusing on R113. So we have an IS-4 arriving. Another shot going into the Leo. And there goes the Leo. Killed off by the guy with the Roman numerals that I need to decipher at some point. It is 1900 something, but I just need to look into what it is exactly. Because that is something that I'm good at, the Roman numerals and everything and reading them. I only don't know what L is. Need to look at that. Nice big hit into the grill. And he is waiting. Another fire on the grill. He didn't fix the first one, so he's unlikely to fix this one either. But the IS-4 takes the kill. And they are forming quite a good team here. I like that. So with the E50 pulling back, he still gets hit for it. And they know that there's likely a camper there, so they are careful with peeking out. But the E50 does not, does not survive that. We are nearly 4k damage into the game. So at this stage he is pulling, well, not necessarily pulling back, but going to a different position. We have the VK that is giving him the evil eye. This is one of those, how my god, how did that pen? And we still don't know where the 268 is at this stage. But we have a IS-4 that is looking at him, but unable to get the shot in and does focus on someone else. But that means that he's quite overextended and out in the open for our 113, allowing him some free damage. But now the 268 has been spotted. He shoots, but he actually misses the 113, which is very lucky for them. And he's just going off after the IS-4, which I also think is a good call, because at this stage he can be here and not really be at risk. And he switches to Primal, which I also think is a good call, because you want to make sure that you actually pen that shot. You want to make sure that you are going to kill them next shot. We have a standard B that literally comes flying in, going after the 1A3, and he's definitely going to get it. Standard B is an amazing tank. I've had so many replays that I'm actually not showing them all, because it would be an overload of standard B replays. It's one of the strongest tanks around at this stage, I think, and it's just awesome. So he kind of needs some help, and he gets that from his team. So when he bounces that shot, he can actually kill off the standard B, and that is the last tank, and we are near 7k damage into it. A bit of luck this game, mainly because the enemy team didn't rush him, but what an amazing game it was for sure. 6,843 damage with 1,551 base XP. So that is absolutely lovely. Now we have the name of this guy, and I'm actually going to write that up real quick. MCM LXXV9. Basically, what you do with Roman numerals is that you, if there's a lower number before the higher number, you subtract it. So we know that it's 1950, it's 70. I'm not sure. I would expect this to be 6 and 9 at the end. So that means that it is actually the 197... 19... That makes no sense. That last X makes no sense. Otherwise it would be 1976. 9. That's the weird thing. September 1976 maybe. But yeah, that's probably something that you don't really care about. It's something that I quite like. I like Roman numerals. I like little things like that. So maybe he's going to be turning... I can't brain at this stage. Let me just grab my calculator, make it easy for myself. It could be that he is turning 43 this month. We don't know. So yeah, we are at 43. That means that I have time to show you about 2 more replays. Let's see. I have a nice little RU game that I'm going to show you. I say that it's nice. I actually haven't seen it. I never watched the replays before I showed them on stream because I want my reaction to be genuine. But I have showed some of the replays already on other streams, so then it doesn't really matter. But this is the one that I actually haven't seen yet. So let's see what he does and where he goes with this. And let's see where he goes. It is supremacy. That means that base can be captured, points can be had, more XP can be gained. And with him going where he is, he can get some nice spotting damage as well. Because we know that there are people here. And he doesn't pan that. And he doesn't even get any spotting damage for it. Tiny bit of... There you go. Bit of damage being done, but not all that much. It is a lightweight, it is a light tank, but it's a very good one. And we have the AMX waiting. Neither does damage to the other one because he misses the other because he hits the tracks. But it looks like that most of the enemy team is on the other side. So he gets some nice shot in there. At this stage he could be shooting HE at them. He is going to get a heavy behind him though, so he has to be careful. And the KV-5 has just arrived. At the same time, you see how armored that thing can be. He takes another hit, and it will be difficult to circle the Death Tank in the water because the terrain resistance is quite different. So he actually is in a bit of trouble here. But he does manage to get some shots in. He just needs to be careful not to get hit. And there he goes, with a little bit of help from his friends. And now their team has lost quite some... Yes, he is definitely a bot. He has to be for killing you, doesn't he? It's something I find so... stupid, let's go with the polite version of the word. Because I don't understand how you can say that when you go full on YOLO, basically. Wanted to get a tank. Ooh, that bounced though. He has to be careful because now he's 3 versus 5. And though they had a base earlier, so get more points, it is 3 versus 4. Their team isn't quite happy with them cussing at them and all of that, which I always feel is quite useless. The Lou is still full HP. And they kind of want to get the base, but at the same time you have to be careful because the RU is such a juicy tank. So he is going to go for it. He is actually not going to go for the base. He might be going for the AMX, which is now a one-shot for him. So he uses little ramp, but his defender teammate gets him first. And now we have the 110 coming in. So he decides to just basically turn his back, go after the Löwe. For some reason he manages to do that as well. And he can HE the side of the Löwe. That is news to me. I did not know that. But that will be the end of the Löwe very soon. There he goes. And now they are getting a second base. He did get shot there. It's the 110 that is going to be a little bit of trouble. And he's like, nope, let's not be here. And he bounces a shot on his bum. That is what you want to see at this stage. And we have the Sioux that has been spotted now as well. This is funny, teammates calling for a base because that is not the right way to go at this stage. He has 1 HP left. So kills him off with HE. And then we have the Sioux that is arriving. And the Sioux can one-shot him, so he has to be careful with that. So he gets a shot in and then he just pulls back. The Sioux actually misses, which is definitely helpful. And with the Sioux doing that, he actually allows the RU to just get beside him and get behind him. Which means that there is no hope at all for this Sioux. And the RU kills him off, does 4k damage in a tier 8 game. That's definitely good. I still don't understand why it says 4027 on the ribbon and then 4030 in the counting thing. But it does end up with 27 on here. It is a great little game. 1317 base XP. Very little supremacy points, but it didn't need it for the ace when he does that much damage. So let's see. I actually have a nice little game in the standard B. I've been talking about it. I'm going to show you one. And after that we will be waiting for the room to be up. My clanmate Fufu. Well, Fusile. But I always call him Fufu. Oh, I like that Dwarf is actually posting Roman numerals now. But it's the 9 that bothers me. I think it means that he's born in September 1976, by the way. Because the rest of the numbers you would spell differently. Otherwise it could be 10, and then it would be 1977 10. So he caps. He waits to cap before he shoots because he's using the bush as cover, which I think is a very good call. And then he tracks him, so he might get some extra tracking damage. was a very cheeky thing to do, but the fact that he did not get spotted was actually beautiful. But there are 3 big guns on the enemy's side, so Fufu has to be careful while doing this. It's quite a YOLO move to go like this, but he kind of wants that cheeky little tank. And now the pattern is there. He might shoot him. He does. His teammates are steadily arriving. This is what I mean with the auto-reloading system. I absolutely love that you can clip people like that. The waffle is giving them the evil eye. So Fufu is going to turn around to try and deal with him instead. And he does get a nice shot in. Thing is, with the auto-reloading system rather than an autoloader, you can choose whether you want to, how many shells you want to load in before you start shooting them. So you can decide to keep reloading the last shell until you can clip someone. And that is something that I really love doing. So by the time he arrives now at the waffle, he has a full clip. And that means that he can clip the waffle, which means that it's a safe bet to just load in all the shells. So at this stage we are 3k damage in. We have an E75 on one side, 268 on the other. He can't really do much damage here. He happily takes a shot though. Oh, SP1C is one of those tanks that I've really struggled in. But at the same time I've had great games in it. So now there's only 2 enemy tanks left. One of them the 268, and Fufu just decides to go down and see if he can get behind him. He has to be careful because if he's hit, he's in trouble. But now, with the clip reloaded, but he doesn't wait for that reload, he can get some big damage here. And he's actually going up. Because this E75 could really potentially ruin his game. That works. And with 4.6k damage in the standard B, Fufu ends the game with 2 kills and still alive. That again, amazing games. 400 supremacy points exactly. 4.6k damage. It is such a lovely tank. I wanted to... Actually, I can show you another one. We have time. Let's go for this one then. Learning permit. Promising name. I was actually going to free XP the whole line. Because I tested the spaghetti before. And I really wanted it back. But... then I got to the standard B and I was actually enjoying the tank so much immediately that I decided not to free XP it and just to keep it. And at the moment it is, I believe it might have changed now because there's only a few games in it, but when I had 18 games it was my highest win rate in tier 9, it was my highest average damage in tier 9, it was my highest, and no, it's actually not even in tier 9, the highest average damage in any tank and the highest average XP in any tank. And that kind of goes to show how strong that thing is. It really does fit my playstyle. I absolutely adore it. You can't shoot anyone there. So he's going forwards. Potentially to cap base A, which would be a good call. Because that gives that slight advantage that you want. He does not take the shot. Now he does, and he does quite some damage. He caps the base as well. And then he just, oh my god, poor Super Persian got deleted. We have a Batchet AP on the other side. He does not switch to, ooh, he did switch to HE just before firing. And that is an amazing amount of damage to do with one shot. That is one of the reasons that the waffle can be so strong. I don't get along with it though. For some reason, I love the grill, it works with me. But the waffle does not. And at some point I will have to drive it again more. Just to get that ace. But at this stage I'm actually not looking forward to it. Ah, okay, thank you for explaining that. The damage counter not working is because it's not counting the ram damage that has been done. Nice little big hit into the E75 there. He gets spotted for his troubles. So he has to be careful. And we have another waffle there. And he switches to HE. And I wonder how much damage this is gonna be. Oof! Nearly 1100 with one shot. And he gets away with it too. He's still not been shot at. And these are the games that you want, because your team is like the primary target. And you can get the damage in. Like that. And then, oh my god, he bounced on the waffle. How do you bounce on a waffle? T-49 arriving. Potentially going to take out a tank. And our waffle casually finishes it off. So we're 4.1k damage into it. And at this stage he must know that he's been having quite a good game. We have 234 behind there. And we know where the 704 is. And our waffle, still full health, decides to more or less go in by the looks of it. T-34. Getting a shot in. Waffle does slightly more damage per shot. And he's not even activated. Oh, now he's activating his adrenaline. He's like, I'm reading his mind to see what he wants to do. And he just got obliterated. And now we have a 704 that could potentially ruin the whole day. But he doesn't. Shooting the trucks instead. And another nice big hit for a waffle. And the waffle actually gets behind the 704. 704 is not likely to survive another reload, but he might. Nope, he does not. But we are 6k damage into it. That is, oh my god. Yes, if you camp at the back for most of the match, and then you're left alive for the last one, you can't really blame the team though. 6k damage in the waffle, 1488 basic speed. These are the kind of games that I would love to have in the waffle sometime. Just any one time really. Because I don't think I've aced it. I don't think I've aced it. Let me have a quick look actually. I can easily go into the chat here. Oh, there's actually, no, this is NA of course, so I can't check here. I do have an account on NA, like the one that you just saw in the search results. But I'll actually show you. There's pretty much nothing on there. I mainly made that account before I got a press account on NA. To have... look, I did have some tournament battles in this. I did stream some battles. I have 55 regular battles. And this is basically as far as I got grinding it. This is the one I'm actually proud of, because I actually have a RAS in it. It was in while we were at Mobile Masters last year in June, I think it was. Yeah, June. And we were in the hotel lobby waiting to be picked up to go to the airport again, to go back home. And we were just casually playing, and I was grinding my NA account at the time. And I wanted to ace the MS1 because it's one of my favorite tier 1 tanks ever. And I did that and just got a RAS there. It was so funny. So yeah, now we just have to wait for the room to be up. It should be about 1.5 minutes thereabouts. So we just, yeah, wait for that. Not much else I can talk about. I can show you my lovely Fury. Again, this is a press account, it's not my main account. Even though it does need some topping up with the credits and the free XP. But it is a lovely, lovely account. I'm glad that I have it. Because the thing is that I've been grinding so much on my EU account over the years. I could not bear the thought of having to actually just... Actually, I'm just going to look at the stats. Of having to grind everything again on another service. I'm really happy that I actually got the... that I got the extra press account on this service. That I can actually tune with subs without having to play the low tiers and all of that. It was a 4-1 for Rain versus Magellan, and now we are having Primal versus Magellan, and we are starting off on Naval Frontier. So let me pull that map up for you. It is actually the one that we saw the standard B battle on. And we have base A, which is considered a heavy base, even though I always go there in a med. We have base B, that is in the middle. Tricky one to take, tricky one to keep. And tricky one to steal. And we have base C, that is considered a med base. Overall, we see people go every which way on this map. And it makes for interesting matches because of it, because there's so many possibilities. Earlier today, we saw a clan try to push up a grill on the upper right corner, and it didn't work out because they lost so much time trying to get the tank there that it's actually cost them the game. Because by then, people know what they were doing because they were spotted doing it, and it allowed for the other team to just get all the bases. And that's the thing with Supremacy, it's not encounter, you don't have the full 7 minutes, no, you have to take into account the amount of time that it will take the enemy to get to 1k points. So that is the map. I'm going to take it away so that it's not on your screen. And we have Primal almost completely ready. They still have 3 minutes though, so anything can happen still. Let's see what they take. We have Primal already in his spaghetti, 2 IS-4s, 2 Forces and 2 215Bs. And they're potentially going to go up against 2 Forces, an E5, 2 IS-4s, a 215B and a Mouse. That is if Insecticide, I'm going to presume his name is going to ready up in time. He is back online, so that's definitely helpful with getting ready. And now we just have to wait 2 more minutes before we go into the match. I actually like seeing so many E5s on the NA server. It is actually still my most played tank on the EU server, even though I've barely touched it since they removed the cupola. Thing is that with the cupola, it required a different playstyle. You couldn't play it like a normal heavy. And it is something that really fit my playstyle. Because of the sniper mode, my turret is always moving, and it's actually very helpful with bouncing shots. But the thing is that with them removing that cupola, they removed that unique playstyle, so I'm actually missing that a lot now. And that is why I'm very glad that I have the T95E6, because that tank is actually just amazing, because it's basically the E5 before they ruined it. And yes, the E5 is now strong and it's more of a proper heavy, but I don't want things to be just proper heavy. I want things to be interesting to drive. And I don't want things to be boring to drive. I like the tanks that are a little bit quirky. I need to get the YOLO wagon, mainly because it's called the YOLO wagon for a reason. And that makes it fun. I need to get the Foch because it's completely overpowered right now. But I'd much rather drive the T95E6 at the moment. Mainly also because TDs aren't really my strong suit, even though I began as a singular TD driver. My first 4 lines were all TDs. That's mainly why I sniper mode the way I do. But this is, then I think the first heavy line that I went down was the E5 line. And it was just amazing. I liked the whole line. So I'm very sad still that they ruined it and they took the fun out of it. So yeah, that is basically what we are, what I'm upset is not the right word because it's a digital tank game. I don't generally get upset about the buffs and nerfs of tanks. I will get sad, but not upset. But yeah, I have the T95E6, so I can just enjoy that instead. So with 5 seconds left to go, we are ready to go into the match. I'm just going to make sure that I have no map on the screen, because that will kind of ruin the game for you. And here we go. And there is what I was talking about. Magellan using the same avatar, that's Team Unity. I wonder also if they're going to use the same camouflage. But I kind of like the Unity. So let's... Tantan also noticing it. And let's see where they go with this. And we have Magellan focusing primarily on the C side, Primal doing the same thing, with only Enzyme going to overlook base A. Base C is being taken by a Batchat that is in quite a good position to avoid getting murdered for it. And we have, oh my god, that I just got pretty much deleted for wanting to decap that base. Very well done by Magellan. And now we have Tonton moving in, potentially to just steal the base. He might get away with it too. Tanner getting some damage in this spaghetti for trying to cap base B. Base C is almost stolen, and they might get base B as well. Ooh, but he does get shot for that. We have the Batchat now coming in, and Tanner is now in definite trouble. He is likely to not survive this encounter. And there he goes, first tank out of the way. Base C is being contested again, but they've already lost a tank, and this is very strong play by Magellan. The Batchat running away. We see Snowfox taking a hit. Base C is still theirs, but now the Batchat is losing some HP. And the Batchat is running off again. And the Batchat is just going to take base B instead. Magellan still has the point advantage because they killed Tanner. Ooh, but that is a big hit though. And that is not something that you want to happen in the Batchat. Enzyme crossing over at the back. Possibly to go and cap base A. We see the mouse that is moving in to cap base B so that the Batchat can move away. C is being contested again. But they're not really getting away with it. Overall there are some bounces going on. Batchat just lost HP. The Enzyme is shooting the mouse. Enzyme losing some HP for it as well. And now Enzyme is going to take base A, and he's probably going to wait for the Batchat, expecting the Batchat to come from somewhere to try and murder him. If he's looking in the right direction, it can work out for him. But they will have to be careful. Primal now has the point advantage, and they have the base. As long as they keep C, they will get points every single time. And now Enzyme has reloaded this clip. The Batchat is going away. And Enzyme is repositioning himself back. And even though Primal is the gun behind, there are bases in front. We have Cora in the force now, potentially in trouble, going to get hit. Yeah, that was a big hit. But he could potentially clip the mouse. And if he manages to do that, that will be a definite advantage for Primal. But he is taking damage for it, and that first shot not hitting is very costly. But we have Enzyme arriving at the back, wanting to kill off that mouse as well. Cora is still alive, but the Sexticide is killed for it. Now Cora is in definite trouble. He's going to get rushed. He's still on a clip reload, so he can't really do much. And we have Anti that is going to finish him off. So now Primal is a gun behind again. We have the FV and the IS-4 that are rotating around. Icebreaker is almost gone. Big hit happening in Nico. And now Magellan seems to be pushing in. Base A is being stolen, but they have quite a few low HP targets now. And that could prove very disastrous for Magellan. Because look at this. One of them only has 50 HP left. The Batchat is still alive. But he's not going to be surviving much longer, I think. But they are focusing on Anti right now. They are at 820 points, and that was just boom, 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 and there goes Anti. But if the Batchat survives, I mean, Corn Doggalore just got murdered. But the Batchat alone, that's actually, they don't have time. They will probably add injury, insult to injury for this. The Batchat is running away. Base B is being not taken. Batchat taking a hit. But he's almost gone. But the Batchat seems to be surviving. He can't really do much else. Unless Ghost intercepts him now. He does. There goes. He saw a flying turret there. And that is the end of the first match. And the first match is for Premo. What a difference in damage as well. Nearly 5k damage difference. And that is why it actually looked to be going to Magellan's side. Especially with the way that they started with shooting right like they did. So that is lovely. Lovely game. Very well, nice start by Magellan. Even though the first game didn't end in their favor. So we have some tanks disappearing offline. I think they're just restarting the game. There might be some lag issues here and there. And we now have Primal completely ready for the second match on Naval Frontier in 2 forces, 3 IS-4s and 2 E5s by the looks of it. And they're going to go up against 2 forces, potentially 2 215Bs, a Mouse, an E50M and an IS-4. We just don't know for sure what Nico is going to drive yet. Or Nightcog. Actually don't know, but I'm just going to stick with Nico. So then we get to see the second match soon. And my computer is derping a little bit. There we go. Yeah, he sticks with the 215B. So in the meantime, I see that the question has been asked, E5 versus 215B. I actually don't know. I think the E5 has a good chance, and I think the E5 mainly has a good chance because if they phase hug, then it might not be the E5 that basically dies. But if they are shooting at a distance, I would put my money on the FV for sure. And here we go. Again with the same avatars on Magellan's side. Nice little wasp camouflage. I keep calling it a wasp, not a bee, because a bee can only sting once and a wasp can sting repeatedly. So let's see what they do in this time. We have Primal spreading out more, covering both sides. And we have Magellan going primarily to base A. They might be meeting those E5s there. Could be tricky. They will be spotting each other. Right going in quite aggressively. First damage being done. And they're not even going to go to base C immediately. They are just getting some shots in. Corn Dogger Logger taking some damage as well. Nico is steadily being destroyed, being tracked repeatedly. And the E5's performing quite well here. Now Reich takes some damage. Nice little bounce there. Nico's still the preferred target. And they are actually using the consumable where they get less damage for being shot. And we have Tenny behind. So that Anti can't really advance as much as he wants to. And Tarn is just going in now. 10-10 too strong, losing a lot of HP. We have a lot of things happening. We have 2 fights here. But we have Primal rushing in here, so I'm going to stick to this side. To see what happens. There goes Nikog. Oof. Emiomyan is being steadily destroyed. Big hits happening. And now we have Tanner getting behind the IS-4. There goes Emil. And that is a big hit into the IS-4. Enzyme has been taken out. Tantan not looking too healthy. Corn Dogger Logger is almost gone. But so is Anti. And then we will switch to the other side. Tantan just got vaporized. As did Anti. There goes Snow Fox. It is 4 versus 4. But Primal is the only one with the base. And they have more HP. No, it's actually Magellan that has more HP, mostly because of the mouse, but they have some. Corn Dogger Logger has a very little HP left. Base A now being kept, and that could potentially be the nail in the coffin. We have Andy giving Ghost the evil eye. Ghost having to be careful here. Cora just took a massive hit. Ghost getting a nice little shot in. Andy has not been spotted. Corn Dogger Logger is waiting for someone to get behind them. There goes some planes flying by. And the forces are working together, flanking around. And Ghost might be in for a treat there when Andy comes to him. But they have the 2 bases. They can get away with it. Mouse just lost some HP. But now Andy has been spotted and he actually pulls back rather than going forwards, even though he could clip him. And that might have something to do with a Cora that is behind Ghost to protect him. Insecticide is almost gone. They are trying to steal base B, but they don't really have the manpower to do it. And there goes Insecticide. It is now 4 versus 3. Icebreaker is taking damage, wanting to go in, wanting to go after Tanner, who's on a drum reload by the looks of it. There goes Ghost. But we have a Fosh versus a Fosh. Oof, I just took a massive hit. That is not a one that you want to miss. But he might still get away with it. There goes Tanner. But it is 2 versus 2. And as long as Reich survives, which he should, they will have this. We are 960 points. It will be pretty much impossible for Magellan to take this back. Especially since none of them is at base A. And there we go. Primal has it, and Andy actually got stuck against the corpse. A very nice game. Tanner carrying his weight for sure. Nearly the same damage being done. And that was the second match. And though we go to the next map, we are going to the panda map. And yes, dwarf, I'm always calling it that. Because this is a panda. You have the A that is in the head, base B in the chest, and base C in the belly. There's paws and everything and even ears. So this is the panda map. And on the panda map, you have base A, which is considered the heavy base. C, that is considered the med base. And we have base B, that is considered a super heavy base. We only see super heavies or super heavy GDs going there. So we have, basically we see some super heavies arriving as well. Let me take away the map star, it's not on the screen for you. And we see Primal having gone already in 3 215Bs, 2 mice, an STB and an E3. So like I said, that is a very heavy lineup. And they're going to face off against a Fosh, 2 140s, 2 113s and mouse and an Iron Force. So that is a somewhat less heavy lineup. And maybe Ensign, no, he does ready up. We still have half a minute left to go, so they could potentially change things. But these are the kind of lineups that I do expect on this map. Especially with 2 mice rather than just 1. And especially with the E3 as well. We generally see those going towards base B. From any side. And it makes for interesting gameplay. But at the same time, Dynasty Sprawl has become a little bit predictable because of it. Because if you want to do something else, it just won't work as well. It is made for super heavies. Beast Pro just said it would be a B camo if it was the general 1A3 player. And he's not wrong there, because they do often only get 1 shot in. Ray not having the required avatar for Magellan. But Enzyme is taking it instead of him. Lots of different camouflages. And let's see what Primal is going to do with this lineup. And we see everyone heading towards the base C side. Potentially with the mice and the E3 heading towards base B in the middle then. And we see that Magellan is a lot more spread out. The mediums heading towards base B. Potentially to catch the mice. Or to try a cheeky cap. Thing is that when you have super heavies on your enemy team, cheeky caps is not really always the way that you want to go. We have Tanner going into a position. We have the mice steadily heading towards base B. They might get base B, but they might not get out of it. And Primal is basically taking positions where they can hold. The mice now arriving. The 140s getting shot for their efforts to cap the base. Ray, the one that is the primary target at this stage. The mouse holding, they can't really steal base B as easily. But we have Enzyme going to do just that. And Ray has lost a ton of HP. Oof, Icebreaker duo just took a massive hit. And now the mice are just ignoring the mouse behind them. Just going straight on in for the brawl, for the kill. Ghost losing some HP. But Anti is lost way more HP than anyone else. And he is going to go down very quickly. He's being... Oh, it's actually Andy that is destroyed the first. with Anti still surviving. Thing is that they have a mouse shooting at them in the rear. We have Corn Dogger Logger that is almost gone. Anti just got deleted. Cora is also gone. Tanner has been deleted. Both teams have lost some tanks, but HP wise Primal is doing better. And that was a very lovely ram kill. And now he's a little bit stuck, so they're actually pushing into each other. We have Ray that is taking out Ghost. And Emil just went and got blown up. Now we have Ray that is left, and now only Insecticide, the heaviest tank, is left. And this is basically the thing that I've noticed. It is easier to ignore the mouse and leave him for last than it is to try and deal with him first. Unless of course he's singled out, because then it's different and you can get behind him. And he's just steadily being destroyed. He's given up, he's letting himself be destroyed. The turret falls off after him as if he's taking off his hat. And this is Primal's match. A very quick game. I think the fact that they used those objects and the objects then pulled back is actually what cost them the game. And that is something that I find both interesting to see, but I think that is what cost them the game, because they were split off too far apart for a while then, and the mouse just went in rather than dealing with the mouse that was behind them. So with a minute and a half left to go, the pressure is definitely on Magellan now, because they will have to win the next 4 matches if they want this point, and Primal has to just win 1 more. And we have Magellan that has readied up in a Force 2 215Bs, a mouse, 2 IS-4s and a 113. The object 140s have been left out, and now they are going to go up against 2 mice, two 215Bs, an IS-4, an STB and an E3. So there too, there has been some changes, but the 2 mice stay. And yeah, like I said, this map invites super heavies to duke it out. So it will be interesting to see what they do with it. I would expect them to go to base B again, and then just see, because they don't necessarily need to go into base B like they did this time. They can also just hold the position. But it allows for some very troll armor to be moved places relatively quickly, because it's a small map. And if you have the base B advantage, you can move from base B to A or to C wherever you need to go. So if you have the super heavy in position there, you can get away with a lot. So with 12 seconds left to go into the 4th match, like I said, pressure is on Magellan to make a change, to make it happen. But it will be very difficult for them to do that. And here we go. And now Primal going for instant unity. Everyone has taken the pro avatar. Oh, seriously, that is awesome. I like it. Yes, very cute. I like it. That seriously made my night. Even if only for that, I'm happy to get up at this time to stream. So here we have Primal going towards base C. We see now that Magellan is moving towards base A. The mice going towards the middle as expected, but no one is at base C to keep them from capping it. So that is exactly what Ghost is doing. Base A is not even being capped, they just started to now. And the mice are already, because they know that the enemy team is there, they are pulling back towards their team to go into holding positions. Tantan moving towards base B. I'm not sure if they're going to actually go for it, but they could potentially to troll. And the mice are holding versus a Force side scraping off each other by the looks of it. Let's have a look, because that actually is something that I always find looks very nice. They are positioning themselves, working together. Tantan taking a little bit of damage for trying to cap. It's mainly allowed them to shoot the 113 though, and Railway took massive damage for it. So now, basically both teams have a base, but Primal has a slight point advantage. They can afford to play it carefully. And that is not something that they will want. That will make Magellan happy, to be fair, because Magellan needs to win every single game. They will need to work together very smartly if they want this to work. And we see most of their team sticking together. The mouse now going after Cora. And we have the mice pushing in, shooting the 113. We have basically Magellan going through their spawn. And we see that the 113 has now been deleted. The mouse is the next in line. And even though Tantan will be the sacrificial lamb, it will cost them 2 tanks to take out one of theirs. There goes Insecticide. Tantan is still alive, so holding for some reason. But now, there he goes. And now everyone of Primal is in base B. They are capping the base. The STB is getting out of there. And Primal just needs to hold. They just need to survive and then they have it. But now Magellan is in a tricky position, especially with Ghost arriving at their back. And he's just basically trolling and pulling away the tanks from the middle. So the focus is gone from Magellan. Ghost taking a hit. But now Corn Dogger Logger is a one-shot. Cora is turning around to deal with a Fosh. He does take a big hit for it and he actually gets destroyed for it. And it is 5 versus 5, but look at the HP, it is 5 versus 4 already. And there's a 6k HP difference between the two teams. Corn Dogger Logger almost gone as well. With the next reload he should be. But he's actually using his IS-4 teammate as cover. Which also does not have that much, and he actually gets rammed to death. Not much health, I wanted to say. So let's go down a little bit and have a look-see. Andy is almost gone. Anti is the one that is now being steadily destroyed. And there goes Andy. There goes Anti. And they are speed, for sure. Again, a very quick game. Massive damage difference in this case. 3.5 minutes. Oh, that's actually not too bad. It seemed shorter because there was just so much movement happening. I love it. Love the whole pro thing that the heck got going on. And that means that the point is for Primal. Let's actually have a look. I doubt the other teams will have moved quite as fast as this. So let's have a quick look to see whether or not we are at 16 points yet. And don't think we are because we are 5, 9, 10, 11, 12 points. So it's not really known yet. So let's have a quick look if we know what happened yet. Rain is fighting their own clan. Well, it's technically not their own clan because you can only have one team in the professionals per clan. But it's still their own. Purple took it home versus Von. So Purple has an extra point. There are 3 points now. Primal, of course, has the extra point. A lot happening with Pincer. They are still going for the straight. So anything can happen there. But at the end of the day, it means that Purple and Primal have 3 points. Rain potentially has 4. Also Rain has 2. And straight might still get a point for this matchup. I think they were up against Pincer. Yeah, they are. So definitely interesting matches. Interesting scoreboard as well. Love the ending with all the avatars. Very nice aggressive gameplay by Primal this night. I really enjoyed that. So for me, that is the end for the NA stream. I'm going to get some sleep now. And I'll be back on Tuesday to stream EU. Hope to see you then. Thank you all for watching. It's been great fun. Thank you all the teams for the gameplay. Thank you Primal for the lovely entertainment. And I'll be seeing you guys on Tuesday. Have a good night.